to be educated, but I'm so frustrated. Hello to my loneliness. I guess that ignorance is...
Good morning and welcome to day 5 on this epic adventure from Traralgon all the way to Perth. So I'm here in my little hotel room in Adelaide and I've got everything packed up. It is 7:16 in the morning, so I'm organised, I'm ready to go. I'm going to go to the parking garage, which is a few blocks away, and get my motorbike in a few minutes and bring it here while the traffic's still light and park it out the front so I can get a trolley, load all this down, pop it on the bike. Then I'm in no rush, but I'm going to go get some breakfast, and then Peter Stevens opens at 9 o'clock and I need to pop in there and get some chain lube. What else? I was thinking this morning, a lot of this trip has been about overcoming my anxiety about having epilepsy, and I went through a place called Tailem Bend yesterday, and the last time I was in Tailem Bend, and by extension Harndorf and Adelaide, was with my boys a few years ago, when my wife Melanie was doing her MICA studies down in Melbourne, so she'd been away for about 5 weeks, I think it was, and so having the boys by myself had been stressful, and work had been stressful. I'd sort of gone from having this pretty stressful job with some great colleagues and a great boss to a really stressful job with some great colleagues to a boss that I'd sort of drifted apart from. Our values had kind of gone in separate directions, so that was really stressful. And we stayed 2 nights in Tailem Bend, and on both those nights I woke up from having seizures during the night, and yeah, it was a tricky situation being stuck so far away from home by myself with the kids, and it was nice to cruise through there worry-free, hassle-free, and exercise those demons. And I'm looking forward to doing that in Ceduna as well, because last time I was in Ceduna it was with I was doing some youth work, and when I got home it was my anniversary, and after that I had a really bad seizure and they had to put me in a coma in order to stop it. So I've got some history with some of these places, epilepsy wise, that I'm looking forward to metaphorically putting behind me and hopefully easing some of the anxiety I have about this bloody medical condition. Anyway, I'm looking forward to, the weather forecast looks amazing today and amazing tomorrow. I planned a few stops. It's just going to be a really cruisy day. So thanks for joining me. I'll see you soon.
Welcome to day 5. Wait, I already said that in the hotel room again. God, I'm not good at this. Anyway, I just stopped off at Peter Stevens in the Adelaide CBD, which is awesome. If you've watched a few of my videos on the Great Ocean Road one, I kind of slagged off the Geelong Peter Stevens a bit, because it was unwelcoming, it was untidy, just wasn't great. But that was unbelievable. Like, all the staff were really welcoming, everything was neat and tidy, well organised, the bikes were immaculate, there was a huge range. Definitely head in there. And yeah, I love Peter Stevens. I bought my very first ever brand new motorbike, a Triumph Sprint ST from Peter Stevens in Melbourne when I was still on Elizabeth Street, and that was amazing, and that experience took me back, so fantastic. And I took the chance to get some chain lube because I didn't have any left. I had some breakfast, probably ate too much if I'm being honest, so I'll have a quiet rest of the day food wise. Now the job is to get out of Adelaide and head up to Port Augusta with a few stops along the way. Alright, so I'll see you along the journey, no doubt.
How much I miss not knowing that we're all screwed when we play our roles and ignore the problems. I like to be away in my patience. Stay up, I feel so outdated. How can we look the other way? Sun is out, but the sky is grey.
Just hit 1,300 kilometers on this tour so far, so I thought I'd give you an update of my feelings about the bike, about the CFMOTO 800 MT Touring Edition. And you know, does it tour? Absolutely. It's been really comfortable. The cruise control is a complete game changer for me. It means I can sort of give my hands a rest, particularly when it's a really still day like today. The 2 previous days where it was really windy, that was difficult to do. But days like today, you can lean back, shift your weight around on the seat. It's really comfortable. I love being able to stand up when you're going through towns. What else is there? One thing that I sort of never really valued was having all the lighting options. It's really good just to, particularly in the misty conditions that I was riding through yesterday, just to know that I had all the lights up the front, and that even though it might look a bit wanky, I'd at least have more opportunity to be seen by people, by drivers in particular. So it was good. I did go with the taller windscreen, which is just an aftermarket AliExpress windscreen. It's not the best quality because I had to get little washers to fill in the spaces there because the holes are too big. But as a functioning windscreen, I mean, I've got it up at its highest position and the wind is being directed a few inches above my head, and the wide tank with the crash bars and everything mean that there's very little wind on my body at all, which just makes for a comfortable cruising experience. For any wannabe vloggers out there, I don't know if I've noted it before in any of my videos, but having a chin mount GoPro attached to your helmet does make a difference. It does pull the helmet down and it does put some pressure on your forehead, which makes it a little more uncomfortable when you're riding. So just keep that in mind. That I do have to stop more regularly and take the helmet off and have a break when I'm carrying the GoPro on the front of it. The experiment I did with stiffening up the preload has worked a treat, front and rear. The stance of the bike feels so much more normal today, especially at the back. So the front wasn't too bad, that I did notice it sagging a fair bit when I got on it, but when I was loading up the bike with all the luggage and then sitting on it, the back was sagging way too far. So having stiffened that up has made a huge difference, and it just feels a lot more level. I watched a really good, I'm not a huge fan, but I don't mind his videos. I watched a really good video about it from Adam Reitman, and that sort of guided me as to where to set the levels, and yeah, that really helped. As a novice, that made the process really simple, so definitely worth a watch. Anyway, I can't remember what my next stop is, but I'll no doubt see you when I get there. Thanks for watching. Hey there, I'm taking a little break at Port Wakefield on my way up to Port Augusta. It's really quiet here. I'm just at the boat ramp watching a heron eat up some little crabs, which is cool. I've tried to get some footage of it, but it keeps moving too far away, and every time I go to film it, it stops moving, so it just looks like a white, not moving thing. Anyway, I'm trying to take my wife's advice and slow down a bit and enjoy the journey and just pace myself rather than just going hell for leather the whole time. So I've just been sitting here chilling for a little while. I'm going to get back on the bike in a few minutes and slowly make my way up to Port Pirie and then to Port Augusta. And it's honestly, you can't get better days than this for riding. You can see a few clouds in the sky, but it's mostly blue skies. There's maybe a slight breeze, which is at my back. It's about 18, 19 degrees. So I just took the thermal liner out of my jacket. I'm still wearing my heavy jacket, but it's comfortable. I might put a podcast on and listen to some music during this leg of the trip, because honestly, it's pretty relaxing, and that's what I need to do. Anyway, I'll see you down the road. Thanks for watching. I don't know if you can see, but there are literally, there might be at least a few hundred wind turbines across the horizon. It's a pretty incredible sight. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have any plans to stop in at Snowtown because I think other than being an ambitiously named town sort of in central-ish Australia, it's probably never seen a snowflake. It did say that it had a giant object here, a giant blade. So, oh, I just saw it. Just gonna do a U-turn and go back and see if we can find it. That is, as they say, a giant blade. So that is an example of one of the turbine blades that make up so many of the turbines around here. How cool is that? I think this might be my favourite giant thing so far. Good on you, Snowtown. I'm glad I stopped. I'll probably get hate for saying this, but things like renewable energies and sort of amazing science and engineering make me optimistic for the future of my sons. And I recently heard that there's a Scandinavian shoe brand who's deciphered a way to recycle the material that's used to make those wind turbines to make shoes. So hopefully they'll be available to us soon. How cool is that? Anyway, that was a good stop. There's too many flies, so I'm going to keep moving. Well, that was Port Pirie, and what a beautiful place it is. Honestly, it's stunning, and the weather could not be better at the moment. 21 degrees, as still as you like, maybe a tiny breeze. So I just stopped, had a break, walked around for about half an hour. Gave the legs a good stretch. I was tempted to find the Shark Museum, but I didn't put that much effort into it, to be honest. I was happy just to have a little walk around. A couple of motorbike shops, which is good to see. And lots of people out on their motorbikes, which is probably a testament to just how beautiful it is today. Honestly, this is I could ride bikes any day, but days like today are just perfect. And say what you like, but this is such a fun bike to ride. It's comfortable, it's got plenty of power. It's got me 1,496 k's across the country. So it's still got 3,000 k's to go. Let's see if it can do it. On to Port Augusta. See you there. I just stopped after Port Pirie, just at a truck stop nearby. And because my fuel sender, my fuel gauge, was showing that I hardly had any fuel, which was a bit of a worry given that I've just had the fuel sender replaced about 3 weeks ago now. So I just pulled over to see if that would work. I was going to film it on the GoPro, but then that stopped working as well. But anyway, I think just giving it a chance to reset has done the job. So I'll just turn it on. Not like to be without a working fuel gauge when I'm crossing the Nullarbor, and I popped it. I think the battery had just gone. I get no life out of the batteries in the GoPro, and they're not that old, so don't get a GoPro. I've made it to Port Augusta. That was such an unbelievably pleasant day of riding. It's really hard to explain. It was just relaxing. So now I've just got to find somewhere to stop so I can put the address of my accommodation for tonight into the GPS. It's 3:20, so I'll be able to check in. Yeah, but it's such a great day. It's so beautiful. There isn't a cloud in the sky now. Just remarkable. There's beautiful wind farms. Breeze on my back all day. Oh, that was perfect. Anyway, I'll see you at the hotel. So this is my day 5 sign off. It has been by far my favourite day out of all the days so far. I've just had an absolute ball. The weather was fantastic. The riding conditions were great. I just had an amazing steak dinner. Had a catch up with my wife and kids and my sister and her partner on FaceTime. Just been doing some more editing. So putting all the videos together. And this room is by far the nicest one I've had so far, so this is awesome. And there's a couple of other motorcyclists on some big Harley Davidsons just a few doors down, a husband and wife I think, and they've got I think maybe Electra glides, which look incredible for covering long distance on. So yeah, I'll wrap up editing soon. Hit the hay, and tomorrow is Port Augusta to Ceduna, which I'm really looking forward to. I think it's about 4 hours and 45 minutes worth of riding, and it's pretty cross country, nothing strenuous, but I'll put some good tunes on, a good podcast on. I listened to an amazing playlist today that I made up, all bangers. Maybe I'll link that playlist somehow if any of you are interested in trying it out. It's there on iTunes.
Maybe I'll see if I can put it in the description. But anyway, thank you for joining me on this trip if you have stuck with me this far, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thanks.
But I'm so frustrated. Hello to my loneliness. I guess that ignorance is bliss. Take me back to before I knew. Rewind, take it out of cue. Innocence can be a young man's game. Signed up for the hall of shame. I wish I knew how much I miss not knowing that we're all screwed. When we play our roles and ignore the problems. I like to be away in my patience. Stay up, I feel so outdated. How can we look the other way? Sun is out, but the sky is gray. What would happen if I took a chance? It's always hard at first glance. I don't wanna, but I know I gotta do it. The truth is hard to swallow, I think I'll chew it. I wish I knew how much I miss not knowing that we're all screwed. When we play our roles and ignore the problems. I wish I knew how much I miss not knowing that we're all screwed. When we play our roles and ignore the problems. I wish I knew